Hello, hello. Welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn. Check out this cool fold. I'm going to show you how to make this fold. I actually made it up, so I don't know if it's already been made. This one actually came out of my little brain, and I was trying to make something else that I'd seen on the internet with a in and up and down and step folds, but it was all too tricky for me, so I just came up with this really easy one as a beautiful way to show off gorgeous paper. And today I'm going to use a different color scheme for you, but I haven't cut out any of my things because I wanted to show you right from the get-go what it looks like excuse me, to actually make it. Okay, so I'm just dialing up to see if I can see what you're seeing. Okay, and if I can see anyone that's here. All right, hello. Now, this time, this is paper from exactly the same suite, Thoughtful Journey, and it has these gorgeous colors as well as these lovely blues. So this time, I'm pairing this card with Misty Moonlight for my background paper. Okay, so you will need 2 sheets of exactly the same design, or a coordinating design that works really well together, and then 1 sheet of, well, half a sheet actually, of your base card. Now I'm working in metric, so I'm going to give you the metric measurements. Okay, right, let's get our trimmer over here so that we can see. So our cardstock is 21 centimeters across the top by A4. Because we're making 2 cards, we're going to cut that in half, and I'm going to cut it actually at 14.5 centimeters. Let me pull that down a bit so you can see there. 14.5 centimeters on the measurement on the end of the trimmer. That's where I use my measurements, because I just find it easier for the mathematics, putting things together. Okay, and then, as I said, it's 21 centimeters, but I want to break it into 4 equal quadrants to make this fold. So I'm going to cut it off at 20 centimeters. So whatever you do, whatever measurements you use, it needs to be divisible by 4 easily. Okay, so just get my cutting blade out of the way. Now I'm going to score. And 4 into 20 goes 5. So looking at my number 5 on the top of my trimmer there, score at 5 centimeters, add 5 is 10 centimeters, add 5 is 15 centimeters, add 5 is 20. So there's my basic card, scored 3 times at 5 centimeter intervals. And then I'm going to fold it into a concertina. Okay, so a little boingy one, and that's the way that the card goes. All right, so while we've got the trimmer here, let's trim our paper. Now, as I said, it's 14 centimeters high, so I'm going to make my paper, no, actually it was 14.5, so I'm going to make my paper 14 centimeters. So just trim off the end there, and we will use that later on for extras. And then each of these panels are 5 centimeters wide, so I'm going to make each of my pieces of paper 4.5 centimeters. And I want them to be consecutive. So for the front of the card, I want this lovely imagery here. So I'm just going to turn it upside down and cut it at 4.5 centimeters, which is just a 0.5 centimeter shorter than the width of the card. And then the next one at 4.5 centimeters. Okay, so these two go together for the front of the card, for the gatefold. There we go, like that. All right, now my leftover piece I'm going to use for my panel on the inside of my card, and I need to cut another bit of Misty Moonlight for that. So this piece here is 6.5, so I'll make it by 6.5 by 11.5, and then my piece of Misty Moonlight, I will make it at 7 by 12. And then that will feature my beautiful piece of imagery for the inside of my card. And we do need, with this little scrap, we're going to create a couple of little hinges. So it's actually 7 centimeters, so I'm going to cut it in half, 3.5. Just this piece of cardstock can be any size you like, absolutely any size you like. And I'm just going to fold them in half, both of them, fold them in half. And when I've got my trimmer out of the way, I'll use my bone folder to crisp them up a little bit more. Now with my second piece of paper, I want the designer series paper for inside my card underneath my main panel. So again, it's going to be 14 by 4.5, 2 pieces, 1 and 2. Okay, so therefore the inside of my card, I just pop them on the inside, and then you have one little spare piece of card, designer series paper for the next time you're making a beautiful card. And last of all, with these little scraps here, I want to embellish my inside of my card, so I'm just going to cut them at 4.5 centimeters as well. 1 and 2, and that's all the cutting done. Now we can put our card together. Just get my trimmer out of the way over here. Right, let's have a look at what we've got here. So I've got, these ones are for the inside because they're inside my card. So let's do those first, but they don't go on just yet. The very first thing we need to put on is these cute little hinges. I'm just going to burnish those score lines a bit. Put them aside so I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to burnish all of these score lines as well. Just make the card go together. Okay, so the first thing is we've got to put on these cute little hinges. So they activate the center panel. You need to adhere them in with the score line on the inside next to the score line on the inside of the card. So you can use any glue for this. Just, these won't be seen. They are purely mechanical. And that one there. So that doesn't, you can have bigger if you want or smaller, it's up to you. So if I just hold that up there, you can see how they work there. Okay, so now over the top of them, to camouflage them and hide them, I'm going to add my beautiful paper, which has a lovely little border all the way around. Okay, there's 1 and 2. There we are. Now we put our hinges back down, and actually just before I stick that in, I'll put this on my mat. 1. And then add a little bit of adhesive to each of those hinges and pop that down there. Okay, so there we go. There's the inside mechanism of the card. So when you open it up, it pops up, and it's a great one to put on display like that. Okay, while we're doing this, let's do the front of the card. Oops. Put our beautiful paper on the front of the card. One there. Oops. And 1 here. This paper is just, you could use this with any sort of beautiful paper. I love the way that the design carries over. Is matchy all across. So there you go, there's the basic card. Now we're do a little bit of stamping for the inside of my card and for my greeting on the front. I should grab a bit of scratch paper underneath for the mess I'm going to make. And I'm using Misty Moonlight, exactly the same colour as the cardstock. And just with the same stamp set that coordinates with the paper, the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set, I'm just using this little image just for a bit of interest, and then ink that up and just putting, now these two panels here are for your writing to your recipient, so you don't need a huge amount of embellishment, just a bit. And I don't like the way I stamped that, so I'm just going to flip that over and do it on the other side. There we go, that's a bit better. And then also while we're stamping, I'm going to stamp a little greeting. Now this little label here is a great label. I really love this Unbounded Love dies. It's got all sorts of great little sizes for lots of greetings. So this one here is the one I've chosen today, and I've already die cut that out. I'm just going to put thanks on there. There we go. Close up my ink pad because I'm done. Thank you for joining me today. It's lovely to see you. All right, pop that away. And then with these extra little bits that we cut out before, I'm just going to put a little bit at the top and the bottom. So this is the actual side that comes from that paper, but I might put it on the other side that has a little bit more colour. So, oh, come on. There we go. A little one here. One at the top as well. This particular seal keeps jumping back. Must be the way I'm doing it. There we go. And on the other side as well. See that? That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to break off. And a little bit on the top. And last bit here. There we go, that's better. All right, we can put them on the inside of the card. One on this side. I can see a smudge there. That's where we're going to put an embellishment later on, because embellishments are magical camouflage agents. Okay, so there's our writing panels. Now for the front, I'm going to put my thanks on there. And I have cut this out twice because I'm going to overlap it. And so that we don't see the white, I've cut it out in Misty Moonlight. So I'm just going to layer that on top of the Misty Moonlight there. One on top of the other, just so that it doesn't look quite so bad when you open up your card there. Okay, but just before I put my thanks on, we'll just add some embellishments. I have die cut with the Thoughtful Wishes dies a couple of the images, and I have already put on my cardstock some adhesive sheet so that I don't have to do some gluing. All right, so there we go, those two are done. And to get the glue, the adhesive sheet off, I'm just going to use the point of my Take Your Pick tool and peel that back. So put you there, and then my white one, get my Take Your Pick tool on the back of the, going from the bottom, and then pop this one on, just overlapping it like that. Okay, and then my thanks goes over the top of that. I do have a bit of ribbon on that one, but I don't think I'll put it on this time. I'm just going to stick my thanks just on, make sure you only put adhesive just on the left side of your card there, and pop that over. And the last thing we're going to put on is some brushed brass butterflies to finish it off beautifully. Okay, got 2 left on this sheet. 1 there. And 1 there. And we said there was a splodge inside I've got to cover up, didn't we? Okay, here's another sheet. Oops. I'll have to buy some more brushed brass butterflies, I think. 1 over my splodge. And another one to keep him company. And 1 more over here. There we go. So, there's my fun double gatefold with the surprise in the middle. There's the autumn tones, the cool tones, and then here's another piece of the beautiful paper in that lovely Thoughtful Journey paper pack, and it's got lovely trees. It is beautiful with these colours, isn't it? I agree, Steve, 100%. So I hope you'll give that a go. Really easy. 5, 10, 15 on a 20 centimetre piece of cardstock. And then all of your paper gets cut a little bit smaller. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye now.